And the director, he knows this story. Like, he's like, okay, this is a very powerful moment. Like, all is lost and everything. Master Chief is really on his shields are down, and he's got to get through this passageway. And you're trying to encourage him, but you also feeling reserved about yourself. And then she's sitting there in the booth, like, So you want me to do it faster? Like, you know, like.
I love that so much. And seeing anybody slip on ice, like the Parks and Rec episode, it just gives me the giggles every single time as they're trying to walk to this like podium in the center of a hockey rink. And the song is "Get on Your Feet," and they keep slipping like as a group. And guys, talk about like getting me to like the giggle, because like you can't stop laughing as they're watching. So really, honestly, watching anybody slip on ice, especially,
what do we call that? Schadenfreude.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
In that one, I don't know if that's quite it.
I mean, it's taking pleasure in other people's pain.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be like physical, like wrenching pain or anything like that. But they are struggling. They're
right.
Like,
it's true. Right? I just love when like people who have competence with like walking on ice, like hockey coaches, like even they slip.
And
like
shoes and like loafers, and like,
or just sometimes even contrarily watching them just like glide on the ice, like they're wearing skates and they're just wearing sneakers.
Yeah,
like that is.
I mean, isn't that just curling?
That's wonderful.
That's competence.
It is. It is. When I went to go say the word competence, I was like,
it's the opposite of what we're talking about, which is incompetence.
Oh, I thought it was just incontinence. Sorry.
Oh shoot! I gotta revise my notes.
Over into just porn.
I don't know what you're watching.
Not for me, man.
And with that, we are Bards and Balladeers. Welcome to our podcast.
Hello.
It is the podcast of story in all of its forms, story and narrative. Sorry, in all of its forms. I am Kate.
I'm Oscar.
I'm Rio.
We are authors, all of us, just different genres, but come to you with our passion for story, and again, just talking about them. And so you can join or subscribe to our YouTube channel. Find us on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. We also have a Discord, so you can come talk to us there. I know these two get up to some hijinks. I try to respond whenever I can. I like talking, so
yeah, you gotta put that German Shepherd dog video on there. I'll find it so that you can see it. Yeah.
So just jokes, things that make us laugh, and then potentially like topics that we might introduce on an episode and want to explore some more.
Sure.
Some serious discussion if you want to enjoy that with us as well.
Yeah.
And
so we're just looking at nothing that's walking below us.
No fur babies whatsoever.
We are the only three creatures here
in existence. Actually, this is the last recording. Can you imagine if aliens were watching this after the end of the world and they're just like, what the heck are these three guys doing? What are they talking about? Get the translator.
And they're talking to some alien species.
Right. But fortunately, an alien invasion is not an upcoming event.
That is on my bingo card.
We don't have any other upcoming events, though. Otherwise,
we might be doing a live stream. We may have done it by now, but we're going to do one. So again, sometime.
So we have a live stream coming up.
We're retroactively announcing.
Yes.
It's true.
So
we may have already, we'll be having done
we'll
that.
See.
I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe we said something interesting. But
we're very smart people.
We are. But today, speaking of competence, we're talking about competence porn, which might sound like an interesting topic to some of you if you're not familiar with it. But if you are familiar with it, we're still going to just talk about some of our favorite versions, what purpose it has in story, but to sort of help you out and define it.
Hey, it's what competence porn is. We're not talking about actual pornography.
You have to take your shirt off first. For
the competence.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to see how competently you can take it.
Messed up unbuttoning it.
Yeah.
Hey, I came first at buttoning and unbuttoning. Came first is a British phrase.
The unbuttoning.
Oh, sure. Right. Good. Cheerio.
Yeah. So basically, when people really enjoy watching competence at whatever it is. So, think Ocean's 11, like just competently coming together to complete a task, or just one person competently performing a task or a series of tasks, and just seeing how things look when everything is done well and runs smoothly brings a lot of people a specific kind of joy. There's not a lot of it going on here today, but
Joy.
It's yeah.
So sorry, there are no other animals.
Yeah, not at all.
So as you were saying, Oscar, about your friend in college.
Yes. No, I wasn't.
No, as you're about to say.
No, my
documentaries.
roommate, a few years ago, we were watching this documentary. And he was watching it, and I was like in the room. I'm like, "I'll watch this too." And it was about some legal case in Wisconsin with this guy who was, accused and found guilty of murder, but it was kind of clear to like everybody else that it wouldn't make any sense for him to have done it. He couldn't have done it. Like it was a really questionable case.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And he got out, and like then they wanted to arrest him again, and he had some money. I forget from where. I think he inherited it, and he spent it all on top-notch lawyers.
Oh, sure.
And you got to see a lot of the legal proceedings in this documentary. And we both had the same reaction, which was like, wow, it's great just to watch competent lawyers be incompetent.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was such a travesty of a case before that. And even then he didn't win because like the jury and then the judges, all that, they're all locals who all know, like, and they all basically support him.
Yeah.
And of course they all trust the FBI, which mostly just wants it to look good.
Right.
But yeah, even just that part of it, just like watching a lawyer get law enforcement officials on the stand and picking them apart and making them look stupid.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, give me more. That's competence porn right there.
I mean, that's why people like those procedural shows, those law procedural shows. It's because it's that build up. And then when you put everything together and you get in that right action, it's like, it's performing, it's even like musicians performing like a perfect like solo or riff and everything.
It's like a symphony when it's a bunch of people.
Right. Right.
Just watching it all come together. I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah.
I do. I really do. And that was actually my first question is why do we like it so much? But you kind of already answered it because it's so satisfying to see something done like with excellence.
Yeah, I think we spend a lot of time seeing things done badly, and our attention is drawn to things being done badly because it poses a miniature kind of threat in our lives.
The incompetence, you mean?
Yeah.
Because, you want certain things to happen in order to achieve your goals, and things happening incompetently around you will often have an effect on you that it's a stymieing effect. It keeps you from the things that you want to achieve or have in your life. And then you have to spend more of your time and resources fixing the problems caused by other people's incompetence. And so witnessing competence is like a relief from that trend in the real world, I think.
Yeah. But like competence, like, I don't know. Maybe it's because most of us live this like very, I don't want to say mundane life, but we are average. Most of us are average at best, and at worst, maybe also average. But, seeing people master their craft or do their thing, it's just like a spectacle. It's just like, it's like seeing a volcano erupt sometimes. Like it's these things that you just don't see until everything comes together in the right way to make that happen.
It's like art.
Like art. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Even like you said, a symphony, a stage play, like it's rehearsed, it's practiced, but also made to appear organic when you, as the viewer or audience member, goes to see it. And again, I like you were saying, like people are average. You might be excellent at like one thing. I think people have like average person superpowers, where like you're just kind of naturally or by practice good at something that's extremely like mundane. Like I'm good at folding king and queen fitted sheets, but you give me a twin fitted sheet.
It's impressive, man. Like you make the face, but watch her do it. I'm just like, what?
But a twin fitted sheet can't do it.
Oh, really?
It's not the same. It's not the same structure.
Or
Yeah.
You're just only into royalty, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right. The kings and queens.
Kings
the
and
full
queens.
is sort of like an illegitimate royalty.
My favorite color is purple. So, but again, just the fact that we do often, whether it's by luck or like the opposite of luck, things
Effort.
just no. What I'm trying to say is like when something just like by statistics like bad happens, where you go to try to pull your coat off of a chair, but it by chance, the arm gets stuck and you pull the, knock the chair over, you roll a natural one, kind of thing situation.
Terms there, guys.
Yeah, sorry. And so that happens like in real life, whereas like in these, excellent moments, it's something that doesn't happen. And so obviously we get to see this in movies and books where it's intentionally written to be done well in a way.
Sorry, what?
No, I was just going to say one of my favorite, like, I actually don't love the movie Fury, but they put so much time and attention into the tank scenes. And I'm like, that alone, it's a decent movie because of that. And they're beautifully orchestrated.
Tank crew going through World War II.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's really cool because like you really get, they did their research because you can see like how like, okay, you got the gunner, you got the loader, you got Brad Pitt playing the captain and everything. And then like it's such I love it when there's this like switch in dynamic where it's just like together the crew is a family. And then when they're in actually battle, they become the crew and everybody fills their parts. Everybody's doing their things. A new guy is like trying to figure out how to, fit into this whole thing. And it's just really well done where it's just like, because they are all so competent and they can work together so well, which is also a competency, they're able to survive the day. They're able to take out the other tanks. It's just really cool and really neat to see when the plan comes together, when it fits together.
Yeah, you often see it with crews, which we talked about vehicles a while ago. I mean, I have to write all that kind of stuff in my own stuff because it's, pirate crew. And so, when you've got captain giving orders and the sailors hoisting lines or whatever, and then the gunners doing their thing and, grenadiers or marksmen or whatever doing their thing. And it all just working out perfectly.
Right.
Just according to plan, or not even according to plan, but just according to sort of like cooperative shared intent.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like at its best, it's either like a symphony or like when for those who like jazz, which I don't generally, but when all of the musicians, like, they're all doing their own thing, but it works out really well.
Right.
Whenever the hell that is. But no, I mean, I have heard somewhere I'm like, oh, that actually did work really well. And maybe there's not a shared intent, but there's a shared goal.
I mean, shared intent because they're all trying to make music, but I get to what your point, because it's like, you ever see those videos where like you'll have somebody like playing saxophone on the subway, and all of a sudden there's another saxophone player, and all of a sudden they're jamming together and they somehow make it work, and they don't know each other at all. Like they're just coming together they happen to have their saxophone on the subway. So every like complementary things, complementary with an E, not with an I, because they're different words. But when two or more things complement each other in the sense that they fill in gaps left by the other, like even in recipes, like if you see a master chef, not to be confused with master chief. Yes. There's an eye in that one too.
An all-seeing eye. But no, if when you've got a master chef and they're like, like this flavor will cut that flavor, but they'll build a greater whole flavor,
together. Yeah.
Like that sort of thing. It's just, the way food nuts feel about that. It's just like, wow. I mean, there's a reason it's called chef's kiss when you see something done perfectly.
Do you think sometimes though that the only way to achieve this though is through an almost like extraordinary ability as well? Like, not that you can't train to have this extraordinary ability, but also that some of these people we're all built differently. Like somebody has like superior hearing, so they can, have perfect pitch or stuff like that. Is that probably what leads to these people having this really high level of competency?
That's how I write my characters a lot of the time. When I tend towards stories with highly competent characters. Yeah, so competence porn is definitely something that I like to write.
Sure.
And some of it comes from some characters are really good planners. Others are really good thinking on their feet. Others are really just reliable at what they do. And so it's a combination of things like, yes, like lots of talents and skills, lots of experience. But if like this person's a really good planner, put them in charge of these things. This person's really good on their feet, put them in charge of these things where that's more of a benefit.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just watch everyone go and do what they're great at and watch it work well together. It's incredibly satisfying.
Yeah.
And I want to add to that too. I think something that you don't have to have this as a trait, but I do think that collaborators often will do better in these situations. Obviously, as a good leader will put maybe somebody that's not as much of a collaborator in like an independent role and just watch them shine in that. But I do think that like you have to be able to collaborate to some degree to want to have a unified, target. You said a phrase earlier that I think was a better phrase. But.
Like not unified intention, but a unified goal or something.
Yeah. It was like started with a C and it wasn't collaborative. It wasn't collaboration, but
that's
it was
my word.
We could rewind and, use the same phrase. Right. But I think it's such an important piece because if you honestly, I think if you don't have the ability to like remove the ego and be willing to collaborate towards a unified goal or like a singular goal with other people, you might have more trouble. You might, be the what's the
monkey wrench.
Yeah. You might be that thing that prevents the entirety to succeed.
Sure.
So I just think that's an important part too, because
I think the C word you were looking for is complementary.
Yes.
Yeah. With an E.
Oh, that's C word.
But I think that shows in like a lot of like you join a crew, you're joining for the same purpose as or similar purposes as other people. You might want to make money. You might want to, but the goal like on a pirate ship or a naval vessel is you have to keep the ship going, right? You're following the captain's orders to go forward in whatever direction it is.
Or you've got
also
your teams. So, like some who are keeping it going and others who are managing other operations. And you want them all to be doing their things concurrently in a way that where they don't interfere with each other.
Right. And the one thing I was going to say, as I don't know if you know much about One Piece or if you've watched any of it, it's a pirate anime.
Right.
And I never watched the anime. I never read the manga, but we're watching the live action now. And it's episode 6 of the first season is great. But the one thing I do like about competency porn is like, we like to see the final product and we like to see people excel and achieve and be really good at it. But sometimes it's that building to that competence is also like one of the most fantastic things, watching people find out how to be a captain, watching people find out how to work together. And I find that almost even more satisfying than just watching the best of the best.
Like the training montage.
Sure. Like in Kung Pao.
Because it does make them relatable. I guess, like,
that's true. Yeah.
Like, because I'm trying to think of a captain that you just get introduced to as a fantastic captain.
Picard.
Right. And you trust and believe it because one, he then acts it out, wonderfully throughout the show and has moments too where he is still learning.
Yeah.
As opposed to like you said, the training montage, which makes us feel better about like, anybody can learn how to do this. I don't know, but
it puts it within reach.
Yeah. And so to go off of that, I do think that like when you see like for example, like I'll bring up symphonies or music ensembles. Like I love that that's getting brought up so much because one, it's near and dear to my heart. Like I just love music. I love watching ensembles because I know how much work it takes to become the master at, a symphony has, I actually don't know, like less than 50 different instruments in it, unless you're counting like each individual percussion, device. Let's say
less than 50 types of it. Less than 50 sections. Like you might have 13 violins, but that counts as one violin.
Exactly.
It only counts as one.
That counts as one.
But to know like what the amount of skill and years and practice it takes to become a master at the violin, and they're still learning too. Like any, instrumentalist that thinks that they've mastered it completely and never need to practice again. None of them would. They wouldn't be playing it that long if they had that mentality.
Everyone knows use it or lose it.
It is. And so then it's that one instrument takes that much skill. And then you add the knowledge of like what it takes to learn the rest of them. Like the harp, for example, you typically can't learn the harp until you play the piano for so long. And
sure,
it's sometimes these like gatekeeping rules that I think are a little too traditional, but I still love
I mean,
I love
they've
this.
worked, you know.
Yeah.
It's like a tech tree.
It's a prerequisite, so you can't get harp until you get piano.
Yeah.
Level 12.
But for me, I guess I love watching symphonies play because it is that type of competence porn and because I know how much has to go into it. And then not only to get them into that seat, but then to also practice and rehearse together to create the sound that the conductor specifically wants and is interpreting.
And going back to what you were saying earlier about, where it's like a shared thing, like you can see competence porn, you can see competence in an individual, and that can constitute competence porn. But when it's in an individual and there's a whole group that, where the goal is shared, where there's an expectation of complementarity. I'm going to assume that's a word. But the one person can be the monkey wrench. It's not enough to just be competent. I think what you're talking about is there's a level of permeability that each of those pieces has. Yeah. Permeability, the ability to be influenced by the other pieces. Sure. So it's sort of like if you're doing a jigsaw, this is a great puzzle piece. Well, it's only as great as in that it allows other pieces to connect to it.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Or builds to the greater picture, right?
Right. So like someone who's trying to do everything, they might be really good at a lot of stuff, but if they're causing problems for other people involved in the same project, they're actually a detractor from the whole thing. And that's not competence porn.
Right. And so I find that actually more satisfying, to be honest, because taking as human beings, we're so just varied and wild, and to get them all to work together in one cohesive unit, that's impressive to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that for me, there's some of the more fun scenes to write.
Sure.
Because there's one there's a whole section that takes up the better part of 3 chapters in my second book, where it's trying to steal a treasure galleon.
Oh, sure.
And there's basically 3 or 4 different groups. Overall 2, but in terms of subgroups, it might be 3 or 4 of them, all doing their own thing, all pre-planned. There is some improvising that has to happen, but it all works so well that I'm just this is one of the best sequences that I've written.
Sure.
And it's satisfying not only as the writer, it brought you satisfaction to know that you made the thing, and then it's also satisfying for people to read it too.
Yeah,
which is even better as a writer.
I know I've gotten good reactions to that. So, I mean, when you feel good about it, odds are other people are going to feel good about it.
Sure.
And I imagine there's a similar thing with, collaboration. I mean, I can only imagine it, but but no, David was talking about a few weeks back about co-writing something.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that brings about that feeling in a group instead of just, I'm good at doing the writing things.
Right.
A lot of projects are more than one person or more than one group.
Yeah.
Even if it's even if there's only one writer, there's a group thing. But when there's multiple people working on the same thing and you get that, it feels, again, like a symphony. And I think that term keeps getting brought up because what we're talking about is harmony.
Not harmony gold, though.
No. Although I still like Robotex.
Yeah, but harmony does take effort to do. You have to have an ear for it if you're thinking of it musically. Yeah.
You have to be permeable to it and having the ear for it and being able to translate that into your actions.
Yep. Which is multiple levels of inner strategy in a way. Strategy. Wow. Strategery. Yeah. And then another thing I think of why I like competence porn so much is you brought this up, but I really like it too.
It sounds like it's a smart thing.
Yeah.
Let's hear it. I'm listening.
Sometimes when it's individuals who may have not been the best, but still can accomplish the thing together is it brings us a sense of hope to see quack ups accomplish a task. And maybe they weren't that throughout the story, Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
I think is an example of it where, Greasy, Cal, Marin, they're all on a ship and they have to get through a very treacherous path at the end. And they all do it together. I guess in a way it's just Greasy, but he couldn't have done it without
Cal, boosting him or whatever.
But. Yeah. Encouragement, that's part of it too. And so to see underdogs actually succeed is just wonderful.
Or sorry, real quick to that, like same idea is in Summer Wars, which we're gonna show you sometime in the future. It's when those people who seemed insignificant become the linchpin and the thing that they need. Like, and I love when they like, oh no, he's the only one who can do it.
Yeah, they did that in Lost a little bit with the character I was ragging on a few weeks ago, where he's like, oh, he's the musician. He's the only one who can do this.
Oh, sure.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, it is a good way to show utility as well.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, no, everyone's got something to contribute.
They do. They do. Actually, there was maybe I don't need to show this. Sorry.
No. Now I really want to know.
No, I did an escape room not too long ago where everybody kind of had their thing that they did well. And I was just like, I'm watching, I'm observing until the very end. The very last thing, you had to be able to like dictate the number of beeps and correspond them to like numbers. And it was a moment of, we had like, I think we finished with maybe like 5 seconds left.
That was very
and I just
close.
Punched in the numbers like as I heard it.
Yep.
And we did it. And it was the best feeling ever. It was very satisfying.
It's like you stopped the timer at 1 second.
I did.
Yep. It was
like we all might have pre-gamed before that escape room, but
pre-gamed. We should do an episode on euphemisms.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a good
Everybody
one.
Restart this right now.
Right. But you brought up actually the concept of group competence porn versus like individual. And I think we're mostly talking about group, but I do think it's an interesting distinction to make. It's sort of different feelings.
I mean, I feel like there are a lot of intellectual properties where one person can do everything. And then you don't really feel like it's competence porn so much as wish fulfillment.
Oh. Oh, interesting.
Like competence porn feels like a kind of wish fulfillment that's achievable. And one man band kind of thing, like Dr. Who a lot of the time.
True.
Feels like it's just like, okay, this is pure fantasy.
Right. The sidekicks are just there for it. Like,
you should dress like, never use violence. Why? Because I can do everything without using violence and I'm unkillable. Okay.
Because you're right. Because when talking about like the two different ideas, like the individual would need to be so competent in the, multitude of things to be able to actually do it. Like it almost makes up, like you said, non-believable.
Right. It's like, I mean, what I even just said of like, don't use violence. Well, that's because you can do anything.
Sure.
That's also Trigon.
Right. Until he has to use violence and everything.
Then suddenly it's okay.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking that the skills must either be believable, like we're already saying, like introduced well, they can't be just like, thrown at the very end. Or it has to satisfy us to see them succeed or fail in the end, regardless of what they've learned. I feel like that is another way that it can work. Kind of like Independence Day. Maybe you brought that up.
Yeah, we talked about that last week ago. And it's still prevalent. It still makes sense today. It's like that. You could be competent and almost like fall from grace. And then in that moment, be competent again when people need you and be enough to win the day. Like, and it is, and self-sacrifice is a big thing. And if it's used poorly, it just be like, oh, they just sacrifice them. We don't care. Like there has to be that earned, like anything in a story has to be earned.
Yeah.
Otherwise it just seems like you just shoved it in there because you wanted to just make a powerful moment.
Right.
Like that powerful moment doesn't happen unless you know that they were trying to be better. They had been good or they whatever, and they fell. And now they're finally saying, well, if I screwed up, but at least I can do this. Like,
the right person with the right purpose at the right time.
When I think one thing you see that I think accentuates competence porn is areas of speciality. So for example, I think this is why a lot of people love football. It's not because, hey, you're seeing this team of people do all these things. You're seeing special teams.
Yeah.
You're seeing the offensive players and the defensive players, and you're seeing, those who do like, run backs and everything. And you're seeing the kicker, like that'd be a one person. But of course they're operating with a team. Mm-hmm. And when all of that works together, I think that's why people become such ardent fans of that even more than certain other sports. Right. But like, an example like some of us gamers can relate to is something like StarCraft.
Yeah.
Where like I play with, a few friends. I play with my brother and my friend Tony and Zach sometimes. And I said to like my brother and I said to my friend Tony once, like, there's 3 things you have to do in StarCraft in order to win. you've got to do these three things somewhat successfully. You've got to attack, defend, and base. Basing, like expand, create more bases.
Yeah.
And I said, each one of us seems to have two of these things that when we're on our game, we're doing two of these three things well.
Yeah.
And it worked out that, I was good at attacking and basing. Tony was good at attacking and defending, and my brother is good at defending and basing.
Sure.
So if we're all three playing together, at least two of us are doing
One thing at a time.
the things we need to do. Like we've got it covered. And again, some of us are better at doing all three, and some of us are not as good at doing that, whatever.
Right.
But, it was that kind of thing of like, even if, like you were saying earlier about people like imperfect characters or whatever coming together and doing something better because they're together.
Or because apart they are not competent, but together they are.
Right.
Filling that gap, like you say.
It's like, if I were doing this myself, I would die. But like sometimes the best you can do in a situation like that is, okay, you're going to go here and not die.
Yeah.
And they're going to keep throwing everything they have at it. But if you have this spot and you don't die, we win.
One of the things
like that's like Battle of the Bulge kind of stuff.
Right. Because they know
hold the line.
Yeah. Hold the line. When you were talking about that, I couldn't help but think about like directors or even like directors in a movie or in a stage play, or even what I'm doing right now with an audiobook, which actually is the Kickstarter's on right now. So you should go check it out and back me.
Down below.
Yeah, link below. But for that reason, I'm having to kind of direct these people. When I was building out these scripts, I have to like tell them exactly how I want these things to be said, how they want to get the right reading of some of those things. And it's because like they're obviously better at voicing things, but I have to be better at directing them to do the right voices or the right reading of that sentence. So it's one of those things where only together are we going to get what we need, because alone I can't do it. Like I read the whole audiobook myself and everything, and I'm doing all these female voices. I'm just like, no, this is not good. Like can do, like we can do better. Like,
And as a leader too, I feel like one of the most satisfying things for me, and maybe you're getting this too, as you're, going through different iterations of it, is being able to cater the directive to each individual. Like I get so much satisfaction out of the creativity that comes from that. And I feel like you would too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because something that you say for one person might not work for another individual, might actually get the opposite, outcome, or it might discourage them. But sometimes being a hard ass for another person actually fuels them.
Yeah.
And removes like the ambiguity that another person might find more room to play in.
Right. Like when you tell someone that you are in your pajamas and you can't go out.
Or what's the Cortana thing? Like where the voice director.
I always love that. So there's this clip somewhere on the internet of Jennifer Hale doing the voice of Cortana for Halo. Thank you. And the director, he knows this story. Like he's like, okay, this is a very powerful moment. Like all is lost and everything. Master Chief is really on his shields are down and he's got to get through this passageway, and you're trying to encourage him, but you also feeling reserved about yourself. And then she's in there in the booth like, so you want me to do it faster? Like,
I love that so much, because it really shows that like, just some people want to just direct them on what to do.
Right.
Some people go into like almost the method headspace, let's say. And I just love that story.
And just her delivery too, because she's not trying to be rude. It's just like, so faster. Like,
that interpretation, right? Yeah.
I'll put that in there. I'll find it. Yeah.
Maybe on the Discord, and it's funny that you actually brought up sports examples, because I never thought that may be why I actually enjoy hockey versus like football.
It's like seeing people beat up on each other.
Well, yes, that is
she
just
likes
a
fights.
perk.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
That's the cherry on top. But actually seeing, plays like come out and like, cause I'm
that's
sure
why I
it's
like soccer.
I bet.
Yeah.
Like
because
you're seeing people like actually working together, like eyes up, like eyes, whether it's ice or on grass, like, and putting in the effort to get that ball or puck to the other side of the field, if it's soccer, football, or
rink.
the ring. Yeah, the ice. And just watching it all come together, like Miracle genuinely is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
Because
Porn,
oh my gosh, like it's the the levels of the layers, sorry, not the levels, is just so fun for me.
Yeah.
But
Again, I think that's also why that's one reason why a lot of people find golf to be boring to watch.
oh, sure.
It's one
very
person.
individual.
I mean, what is it? The relationship between the dude and his caddy?
Basically,
It's a strong relationship.
Yeah, if you
Couldn't
hadn't
have done it without
a
him.
5-iron,
Right.
whenever.
Now, if they got to
But-
like the green and then like the caddies could fight to like change places of their balls, like that'd be fun. Like,
or if they had veto power, using this club.
Yeah. But then also pit crews for like either, I don't know much about NASCAR, but Formula One, I've watched a little bit from Netflix.
Because of my mom.
Formula Uno. But it's fascinating to see what these people can do in such a limited amount of time. There was also something that I read or listened to where it was directors of hospitals wanted a more efficient process for their surgical like operating rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually studied pit crews and how they handled all of their processes like happening at one time to make those operating rooms more efficient, more sanitary. And somebody help me out in the comments if you know, but I'll try to find it too. Because it was
like the assembly line kind of thing.
Basically, yes.
Or disassembly line in this case.
Sure, yeah. And that each person needed to be such an expert in their thing to make the unified goal work.
And even so, like with the pit crew example too, it's also wonderful watching like the transformation over years. Like you'll see like pit crew, they changed a tire in 11 seconds. Now it's like 1.5 seconds. Like it's insane.
Blink of an eye almost. Okay.
Yeah.
It's longer than a blink of an eye, but
but
seeing people get better and better and better and
yes,
better.
yes. Until we become light and we return to wherever we came
pure
from.
energy.
Pure energy. One of the things that I find interesting too is like we as human beings, I think we have this necessity to like always push the envelope, always try to find some way better. We're just discoverers. We just like to find things out in the world. But sometimes it's like going back to nature is sometimes the best. And one of the things I think about is I'm pretty sure this is Japan, but they were trying to figure out a way to route their subway stations in the most efficient ways. And what they did is they used fungus and they put colonies of funguses in the places on a map where all the stations would be and let the funguses find the most direct and best path to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Like sometimes it's just like we had to go backwards in order to be the best, like, or just, again, sometimes we reinvent the wheel to the point of like, no, you don't have to,
and we overthink.
Yeah.
Who really feels that competence, like that satisfaction of competence porn is the people who had that idea and watched it come to fruition.
Yeah.
They're like, we rock.
I get it.
Right? Yeah.
I do get that. Like they were the ones smart enough to like understand it, but it was still like they relied on nature, who's been doing this millions of years, And
that's where we come to the whole, like how the intersection of this with our leadership topic a while back is like the conductor of a symphony or the director of a film, whoever's doing the choosing and figuring out when and what time, like what time to do it, what amount to do it, like when to bring in certain elements, how to like basically the coordinator,
right?
Resource management.
It's a big thing in StarCraft too. Resource management. But just bring that element, like that's part of the cooperative element, but it's like it's the instructions, it's the DNA of it in a sense, like it's the one who holds the vision, or even the team who holds the vision. Be the bridge crew in, any kind of thing like that, whether it's SDF-1 or Star Trek or something.
The Firefly.
Yeah, no, it's funny that you say SDF-1 because there's only like 3 people that really matter on the bridge. I mean, I know there's other girls that are there, but they're like
interchangeable, so they count as one.
Right, kind of. I mean, because it's only because they never fill out those characters. There's the one communication.
They do in the books a little bit.
Do they? A
little bit.
But it's just like Claudia and Lisa and everything.
And
Captain Global, There's, I was thinking about, if you've never seen Macross Frontier, there's this point where they're coming through the atmosphere in the Macross Frontier, which are like smaller versions of the Macross. And like something happens where like they weren't sure how they were going to get past all this fire and everything. So the captain takes over and he stands up and like a captain's wheel comes up and everything. And he's just like, sometimes you just got to surf it or whatever he says. He's like, Big Wednesday and everything. And he's surfing down, blocking like all the laser shots with this piece of metal that he basically uses as a surfboard coming down. And it's so ridiculous, but it's so wonderful. And I remember just like cheering, watching it. I'm just like, this is great because he took over because he knew no one else, because he's an older gentleman. So I'm guessing he just like is remembering times from past or whatever. And he's just right now, I'll have to put that in too, because it's such a fun scene, but it is so ridiculous. And like,
I agree. I actually think it points to somebody who's so experienced has that bridged the gap between like just letting go and just doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's also an important part of, competence porn where, watching, whether it's like, the symphony example, the jazz trio example, the sports, the pit crews, the team working together, all that training, you have to have the training in order to have the excellence. At least I think so.
And to your
my
point,
opinion.
Yeah. Too. It's just like, sometimes you just got to know when to try something crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And to like,
jazz.
Yeah. It all comes back to jazz.
It's it's translating the inner awareness, that being in tune with yourself and having that be what enables you to be more in tune with other people.
Right. Right.
It's like
That's
having that instinct to like, this is a good way and a good time to do this.
Yeah.
And where you're making that choice for where you're making the decisions for others.
Yeah.
And you're that much more in tune with yourself that you just instinctively or intuitively know this is when to do this. This is what to do. And then you direct people to do their part. It works out great.
Yeah.
But it's part of that, like at each stage of wholeness, like either the individual or this team or the whole group, there needs to be that sort of self-awareness, because that speaks to the, like permeability again to others, like even within yourself, the permeability of your mind to your instincts, the amount you let your instincts inform your mind, the amount you let your intuition inform your mind, and the amount to which you like put that into like articulable terms for others. And then that builds that plays off the permeability of other people to your orders or their own talents or other people. So a lot of it's just about like, even within an organ tissue, there's this thing called causation. Like, when you send an impulse to move your arm, you move your arm, but every part of you, like from your mind on down, like at the cellular level, has to be permeable to those instructions to competently execute it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I never thought of that like that.
I'm going to start using the word permeable instead of trust now.
Even when it doesn't work.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like when you get older, like some of those things break down.
Yeah.
And like, that's why it's so sad to watch senility, is like, there's a cap now on your competence.
Yeah.
And to feel that happening too.
Oof.
Yeah. Way to bring us down at the end of the episode.
But my final thought is, this is why we should always have, if you have your opportunity, have your kids in team sports, in music ensembles, do it.
Right. It just helps them be better with just just being in life and interacting with people, I mean, we were both in music. Were you in sports?
No, but I bring another perspective to
Sure.
it. I was in Quiz Bowl, but like,
no,
that was
same thing though.
But that was high school. Like,
And D&D.
I want to, well, this is the thing. I want to recommend people to don't have your kids in things all the time. If we're talking about parenting,
give them some space. Yeah.
Space to practice what they've learned when they don't have space.
Right. And also have a safe place to come back.
Because part of how you discover, part of how you get that self-awareness between the different parts of yourself, and part of how you make those parts of yourself that you've trained better is to have the space in which to recreationally use what you've learned.
Yeah.
And that means having
play.
time and space to play.
Yeah.
That is the importance of play. We should honestly have a whole episode on play. The importance of play.
Write it down. Add it to the list. Yeah. And this
which is my word of 2026 for myself, by the way. Yeah.
Let's see. Role playing.
And hopefully maybe in we're on episode, I think 38 for this one. Hopefully by 100, we can really say we'll be in a different place and we'll go back and look at these old ones and be like, we improved from there. We saw the improvement. Now we are competent at doing this. We know the steps we need to take and what have you. And so it's all a journey. It's all just learning and being better,
That's true.
A final thought for me. And this is a psychological principle, which you can see working in anything you do. Growth goes from a progression of unconscious incompetence, where you don't know you're not good at the thing and you don't know you're not good at the thing, to conscious incompetence, where you see that you're not good at doing something, but you can't seem to do better yet.
Sure.
To conscious competence, where with effort, your ability to be competent at these things grows. And then mastery, where it's second nature to just be doing well at things. But that implication there, I want to focus on this. Conscious incompetence is progress.
Yes.
It is progress. So you'll have that stage where you're like, man, I suck at this. And I can see why I suck at this, but I still suck at this.
Right.
That's progress. Don't quit.
Right. As long as it doesn't stop you. So
it's true.
But that's why we're on episode 38 and we don't have any options or not options. We don't have any thoughts of plans. Thank you. There it is. That's why I need a team. I am not good with the words. That's her. But yeah, we appreciate you being here. You guys, it's been great. So we'll have to see you next time after we announce who we are before we leave.
And
I'm not competent at what I do yet.
And after, of course, we remind you that these two have an audio book coming out, and the link is down below.
Yes, so please check it out. We'd love any help. It's going to be fun and great. Got a lot of talented actors. I think you guys were going to enjoy it for my first book. So
that's right.
With that said, Musger.
I'm Kate.
And I'm Rio. Have a good night, guys.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.